Hello there, and a very good morning to you. Many thanks for joining us on U45 Morning Show. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye.
And I am Shegun Jenola Adeyemi. Thank you for making it a wonderful time with us.
And I'm Patience Willie. Thanks for joining us on the special weekend edition.
And thank God it's Friday. Of course, you know that your day wouldn't be complete without making it with a U45 morning show. Yesterday on the program, we were looking at issues making rounds in Nigeria. And basically, we also look at the vaccine, which the Lagos State government is ready to give to young girls between the age of 9 and 12. These and many more is what we're going to look into on today's edition of U45 Morning. Right about now, we will take a short break, and when we return, we will look at what is happening on the dailies and, of course, across the nation. Just stay. A beautiful morning to you once again. Welcome to U45 Morning Show. It is about the time when we will review the papers. But before then, we'll also have for you the World Press Conference, of course, which was done by a former Vice President and the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Atiku Abubakar. And you'll have the opportunity to hear what the former vice president is saying about the nation, the need for us to save the nation, Nigeria, and the need for even religious leaders and all the leaders in Nigeria to support him in the fight for Nigeria's integrity. And I will begin with the Daily Independent newspaper. On Daily Independent newspaper front page, the alarming headline here reads, Atiku asks Obi Kwankwaso to join him in pursuit of justice. Exactly what I was talking about. This is just a bit of what he spoke about. Now, underneath, the writer says, gives condition to drop fight against President Tinubu, says Fawayimi inspired him to go after Tinubu's records. President forged certificates presented to INEC, that is, according to his lawyer. Labour Party rejects Atiku's offer of collaboration against Tinubu. Atiku harbors deep animosity against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is from the APC. You can get that story in a Daily Independent newspaper. And now another headline here reads, why Nigerian airlines can survive on international routes by aviation experts. Now, atop the Daily Independent newspaper, the front page, it reads, Ganduje wants Rivers APC stakeholders not to overheat the polity. The writer says, group says, Wike is leader of APC PDP in the state. That's quite interesting. And now the next headline reads, Supreme Court to decide on Nnamdi Kanu's fate, December 15. For more details, get the Daily Independent newspaper.
All right, and on Punch, the punch for today. From Bonner says, Tinubu betrayed me. I'll fight till Supreme Court verdict. Atiku. And then still there says, Tinubu supported Yaradua PDP in 2007 presidential election, says ex-vice president. Also, Atiku's political career has ended. He got nothing from Chicago University. APC said so. And at the top right corner, it says, Depot deserted as petrol handling cost hits 72 naira per liter. You find that on page 17.
And now to the New Telegraph. The main story says, certificate saga, Nigeria bigger than any individual, Atiku. You can get that on page 2 and 5 of the New Telegraph. Another story says, Senate summons security chiefs over rising insecurity. That's on page 3 and 6. And then there's teachers get the due reward, Tinubu, on page 4, 6, and 28. Another story says, analysts, FG's revenue projections overly ambitious. You can get that on 3 and 25 of the New Telegram. Then there's another news that says Nigerians' internet subscribers now 1,509,000. That's by NCC. You know, it's quite a huge number. Our subscribers, Nigerians, are really using the internet on a daily basis.
Well, I think, of course, everybody wants to be, happy. So there's need for them to get themselves engaged. And in a country where you still talk about high level of unemployment, what do you expect? People now get themselves engaged with their phones. So I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all.
Yes.
People actually make a living out of it. Because, you can't do skit without internet.
Of course, and the influencers also use the telephone on a daily basis to create contents.
All right, quickly, let's look at the Guardian newspaper. The headline here reads, Africa's entrapped trade corridors worsen AFC FTA implementation. Well, that story is on page 4 and 5 of the Guardian newspaper. Another headline here reads, Tales of Neglect Lagis as Nigeria marks World Teachers' Day. And out here you have Senate summon service chiefs, IGP over kidnap of students. That is on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. Moving on, you have here Tinubu's Chicago certificate, Atiku rallies Obi, Kwankwanso, Nigerians for justice. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. And following that directly is governor stealing a lot. Local council should get allocation directly, says Afe Babalola. That's on page 27 of the Guardian newspaper. Well, guys, this is quite worrisome. It says governor stealing a lot. Local council should get allocation directly. What do you make out of this?
Now the question is, wouldn't the local council chairman themselves steal? So if it comes from the governor, I have this perspective or this feeling that if it comes directly from them, they are able to monitor it. But if it doesn't, if it goes straight to the pocket of the local government, it might not be accounted for.
Well, I don't really believe it's all about that. Before now, people have been talking for, the autonomy of the local government. Yes. You find that basically it's about how you are able to reach the grassroots better. I mean, take a look around you, the local council development areas, local government areas. You see that there is less development. And this is the reason for which people have been advocating that these funds, this allocation should go straight to the local government. If you say that if it gets to the local government, it will not be accountable for, the question is, even the governors, who then accounts for the governor? I mean, they are all politicians. So
Definitely,
what do you think about that part?
They're all politicians, and they have a precedent that's been going on for a very long time that we don't want to go into
We
right
don't want
now.
to talk about. All right, let's take the next paper.
All right, moving on. Nigerian Tribune. It says reputation of Nigeria at stake. Atiku. And then another story says impeachment. Disregard request from Ondo Assembly. Adegborowa writes Ondo CJ. Also on page 12, you see ensure local government areas get allocations directly, not through governors. Babalola tells Tinubu.
That's the same story.
Yes.
Yeah, and then moving on, Supreme Court slates December 15 to determine Nnamdi Kanu's fate, just like we heard before. And then sex scandal, why we arrested suspected Unical professor, DSS. You find that on page 26.
I think that matter calls for concern. Reading,
Yes.
you send your children to school, expecting them to come home with a good academic record. And at the end of the day, what you see is these lecturers, harassing them. And I think this should be brought to an end. Something needs to be done urgently. Because, like they say that education is the bedrock of any nation.
Of course.
So when you begin to deny the girl child, and this is where we really need to look into.
Yes, definitely.
Because now it has gotten to a stage where the girl child, they are beginning to know their rights.
Of course.
That they are not less of a human being to
Than the male children,
men.
to the male children,
And we
yes.
have seen women doing great in this country, even across the world. So why limit them? Why punish them? Lecturers, you are there to teach them. And this should be your main goal. I mean, you can't continue to harass these girls. Because I even remember when I was in the university, before going to the university at the Polytechnic, I know that all these things happen. If a lecturer likes you, he's going to ensure that even when you write your exam, your tests, he might just give you 3.
That is.
Or give you 10. Then you begin to wonder. And even in fighting your course, at the end of the day, who are those that can even fight your course on campus? And then you find out that they were introduced to you, cultists, whom you have to go and seek refuge from. I mean, it's a bad situation.
It's appalling.
I think the way forward might be the students themselves having a collective effort, right? When something happens to one person, that means it happens to all of us. Okay. So in a class, if it happens to one lady,
yes,
automatically it happened to all of us. So
exactly.
we stand right behind that lady, so that if you want to fail anybody,
yes,
fail all of us.
But how many people will stand
now that is
together?
That's another challenge.
That's another challenge. Yes.
You find out that if you will stand and you say people should come and support you to fight, the lecturers, some of them, not all of them, like that they will always be bad eggs.
Of course.
They will rally around their colleagues and have something to write about. They might even rusticate the girl.
My pain here is, don't they have a conscience? A lot of them have children. They have daughters. How would they feel if a lecturer from another university takes advantage of their children? I mean, it's really sad. It's not right at all.
Well, I think we now need to move on, talking about conscience, about politicians.
Yes.
All right, the Daily Times. Atiku goes for broke against Tinubu. You find that with the top banner. And then on page 2, it says, stop causing trouble in APC. Ganduje wants Wike-led group. And still on page 2, National Social Investment Program bus passes Senate screening. And then South stakeholders applaud Tinubu Akpabio over NDDC board. You find that on page 5.
And on the Daily Sun, the main story says, no retreat, no surrender on Tinubu, says Atiku. That can be found on the very front page of Daily Sun. Another story says, economic hardship to worsen as Abuja filling stations shut down over liquidity crisis. You can find that on page 2. And then on foreign news, it said Germany contributed 3 billion naira to Nigeria's economy in 2020. That you can find on page 9 of the Daily Sun. On page 4, Senate summons security chiefs over abduction of varsity students. Also, yesterday was a wonderful day. On page 8, World Teachers Day. Tinubu promises better days as Ekiti teachers emerge best in Nigeria.
Interesting.
Yes.
Well, we all know the background of Ekiti. I mean, come on, they really love education.
They do,
That
they
is not
do.
to say other states, Lagos State, we are just on top.
They are trying.
I hope you agree.
The
with
center of
me.
excellence.
I hope you agree with
The
me.
center of
don't
excellence.
agree.
Excellence is a choice. We ain't got no choice in Lagos. All right, now let's look at New Telegraph. The headline here reads, Certificate Saga, Nigeria bigger than any individual. This is according to Atiku. You can get that story on New Telegraph, page 2 and 5. And another headline here reads, Senate summons security chiefs over rising insecurity. Of course, the university students who were abducted, and this is a reason in which the Senate has summoned the security chiefs, and this is also cause for concern. We have been talking about insecurity in this country for how long? And only God knows how long
It's
we will
going to take.
continue to talk about insecurity. I think one of the former leaders said if insecurity lasts for 24 hours,
That means
then
the
it says
government
check
is
the
involved.
government.
Yes,
The
check them.
government
Yes.
is involved.
Yes.
Thank you. So we really don't know what the challenge is, why it's been pretty difficult for us to end insecurity in Nigeria. It has gotten to a stage where you want to travel, you begin to think twice. I remember I had a colleague that the father died and said she was the burial was going to be in Anambra, and I told myself, oh my God, are you for real? I'm sorry. I love you, friend. But because of insecurity, really, I said, no, I'm not going to go. So this is the state that the Nigerian government has put us. The citizens seem not to now have confidence in government anymore.
No.
Now the question is, how would government rise up to this the expectation? How will they be able to meet the expectation of Nigerians?
Well, if you ask me, I would say let the needful be done.
The needful.
So now there are people in charge of security, right? In the country. So you have the chief of naval staff, you have the chief of air staff, you have the chief of army staff, you have defense
Minister.
You understand? So we have all these titles, and it seems as though they are not really doing what they are supposed to do, or they are limited. I mean, they might say they don't have enough resources, enough equipment to fight the insurgents, but then whatever you have, let's make do with it.
I think the major challenge is about political will. If I'm asked to, speak to the government, really, it's about political will, because I remember Bade then? Is it Bade or Bade? I'm trying to remember that security chief that said he had a lot to say. And the next thing we saw that was that he was shot and he died just like that. So it means some people are aware and they know
what is really going on.
Exactly. They know what is going on, and it becomes a problem for you to speak out.
Yes.
The question is, who will be ready to
come
give
up.
his life to ensure that Nigeria gets to that state in which you and I are looking towards?
The people in power are supposed to be the ones to give their life for this to happen. But because of...
After all, Jesus Christ gave his life as your leaders. So what are we talking about?
But the problem of godfatherism is another that gets people worried, because I mean somebody puts you there.
Aside from godfatherism, I think a lot of people in government are making money from this. Some set of people are making money, because if not, like she said, if there's an insurgence or there's insecurity in a country for a particular period, the government is definitely involved. So the government have to look into themselves and try to sort this out.
Okay, don't you think at times some of these people, let's say, might have international backings?
Well, I think we would need to bring security experts to help us
Analyze this, yes.
Analyze insecurity in Nigeria and the way forward. And I'll still stay with the New Telegraph. The headline here reads, Greatness Olorunfemi, yes. Senate summons IGP, Wike others over negligence deaths. That story is on page 2. You remember the woman that boarded a bus? No, she was driving to work, and then it still boils down to insecurity. And then she was shot and threw out in a pool of blood, and they rushed her to the hospital, and she eventually died. And I think that's the reason in which the Senate have now summoned Wike and the IGP. Another headline here says, federal government to NLC, vulnerable pensioners to be paid 25,000 naira grants from November. That story is on page 26. Guys, this is another promise by government, of course, which emanated from the meeting they had, in which the NLC, the organized labor, now suspended their strike for 30 days. 25,000 naira grants will be given to vulnerable pensioners. Do you think that this will be a reality?
You don't only give, this is their right. They served the government, they served Nigeria all their lives, and they deserve to get their pensions. You don't just give it to people who are vulnerable, you pay it to everybody. That's my take.
So the question I would like to ask is, will these be executed?
Of course, that's the question we're asking.
Because I remember back then in early 2000s, in Ikoyi, growing up, you see ex-servicemen
Don't
on the streets.
Don't even go
there.
There
was a particular case of an ex-serviceman that had to travel all the way from Lagos to Abuja. And they had to sleep in the harmattan, cold harmattan, in the streets. And they went there and came back empty-handed.
Yeah.
Empty-handed. So where did the money go to? Where?
So I think it's all about, I really don't know the word to use now.
If for implementation to take its course,
Okay.
then the leader must work.
Yes.
The leader must work. I will always say, put a committee together, unbiased, people that are not power driven. Because if you're power driven, it's your ego. If someone pets your ego, then you let loose your guard. You understand? You will not want to do that which you're meant to do. So put a group of people together, people with integrity. Let them go and just disguise. I remember back in the days in Lagos State, the former Commissioner of Police and former IG, MD Abubakar.
Yes, MD Abubakar.
He would return from work, go into his house, because we were like 2 buildings away from him. Go into his house, his security personnel, everybody, they return home. Now, this man alone comes out and drives around Lagos State. Alone. No escort, no driver, nobody, just him. A commissioner.
Just to check.
Yes, a commissioner of police. Just to check what is happening. He says no roadblock, he moves around to make sure that
There's
no
no
roadblocks.
roadblocks.
He goes into a station and says, what is this one doing here? What's your offense? What did you do? and releases people. I mean, these are the kind of people
That's been active on the job.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's a very hardworking former IGP you talked about. He
Yes.
used to be the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State. I actually worked with him then, and I can tell you all that you have said is nothing but the truth. That's the truth. MD Abubakar worked assiduously, and this also brings us to passion for a passion, drive, enthusiasm for what we do.
Exactly.
And which means that if you know that you're not interested in a particular job, there's no point taking
Taking
it.
the job, yes.
There's no point taking up a career that you know that you are not passionate about.
Yes.
And the same thing with our political leaders.
Exactly.
You know, it's about the passion. If you have the genuine interest of
the people, yes,
it
that's
means
it.
that you will deliver,
Yes.
because you will put them in your own position. And that's what
Exactly.
MD did. Go round and act like a normal citizen and see what the citizens
Are
are
going through.
experiencing.
Yes.
All right, moving on, still staying with a New Telegraph. Another headline says Supreme Court, beg your pardon, fixes December 15th for judgment on Kano's treasonable charges. We've talked about that. And it's not just Kano. You remember even El Zakzaki is still there. And the former president, the immediate past president, Muhammadu Buhari, then there were lots of courts ruling that they should release even El Zazaki. Up until now, it has not been obeyed. And that's the same case with the IPOB leader, Kanu. That story is on page 4 of New Telegraph.
And moving on, finally, Daily Trust. It says, join me to unearth truth. Atiku tells Obi Konkoso. Also, on page 35, it says, body of missing Plateau Fulani leader found. On page 35 still, Osun governor orders shoot at site as 5 fear dead in communal clash. On page 20, premarital medical screening law on the way. Kano Isba. Premarital.
So what's that all about? What are they screening? Are they screening their genotype, or what kind of screening is this? Financial status?
I don't think it will be financial status.
What is it?
If it's genotype, everyone
Everyone does that.
okay.
That's the reason why I said, is it
it's
connected to
So,
the financial
are they-
stability of the couples?
Are they trying to say you must be a virgin before you can get married? Is that why? Is that? I mean, Kano is an Islamic state, and you have to live by the rule. No alcohol in Kano, none. So if you know that you want to get married, just prepare yourself, because this medical screening can just be anything.
So is it going to be connected with the Sharia law or something?
Definitely, everything is interwoven.
Okay.
It's intertwined, because Kano, Katsina, Kaduna, Jos, KB, all the northern states, basically, most of them, they all operate with
The Sharia law.
Sharia law.
Okay.
So, if you're an indigent, you know what is at stake. So definitely, I'm pretty sure they will all abide by the screening law, premarital screening law. All right. Moving on, still on Daily Trust. Twist in Rivers, APC crisis as factions bicker over Amechi's directive to back Atiku. Senate seeks special security operatives in Northwest. Moving on, another story says, tears as Jigawa Elders Forum's chairman, Bafa, buried in Kano. Still there, World Teachers Day. Fulfill your promises to us. Teachers tell federal government 3 years after.
Well, I think it has gotten to that point where teachers need to be encouraged. The level that we are now in the country, where you now see graduates that some of them are unable to even write a composition that you would nod your head and say, indeed, this person has gone to the university and has graduated. You begin to wonder why you have this kind of poor education level. And the truth of the matter is a lot of people take up teachers' work because that is the only available job, job for them. Not necessarily because
they're trained for it,
exactly,
or they have a passion for it.
Exactly, and so they just go there and do it for them to just earn a living. And this is telling on the students. So, and we also saw the president, in his speech to teachers on World Teachers Day, of course, represented by the Vice President Kashim Shettima. Promising that gone were the days where teachers' rewards, is in heaven, but that will make it a reality to ensure that teachers also, enjoy. But just like what we've been saying, what remains is the implementation. Ensuring that you do in accordance to what you have said.
And then they should stress on taking care of the teachers in the public sector, because they have really been neglected. I'm a product of Jakonde, and Jakonde system of education. And way back then, the teachers were properly taken care of. Even us, the students, were being taken care of.
Yeah,
we had stationaries, we had everything, your dictionary, everything you needed. You just go into the storehouse and you just get it. Class 1, class 2, till you graduate. Now, it's not like, and the teachers were properly remunerated, and they had a passion for the job. They should look into how they're being recruited, number one. Number two, remuneration should be taken care of.
Even talking about recruitment, the truth is, as long as we don't tackle corruption, bribery and corruption, people will always find their way in there. You understand? So the first thing is the level of poverty. If it's being addressed, if government can make the citizens happy, then it means that whoever you put in place of authority, they will do in accordance to what is expected of them. And I remember those days too, when I was in school. At a point in time, we were being served food.
Yes.
That's true, even with foods.
Yes.
And the last administration of the All Progressive Congress, APC, I remember that they talked about the feeding
students
of school children,
which never came to pass.
No. Which in some areas, in some states,
they did. Yes, but not in Lagos.
Some states, it didn't happen like that.
It didn't happen in Lagos.
It happened in some part of Lagos.
Where, to be precise?
It happened in some part of Lagos, just because I actually witnessed one.
Really?
Yeah, it happened.
What part of Lagos are you talking about here?
And how long did that last?
Okay, now that's the problem. But
all right,
it kicked off, but
the continuity is what
they cannot sustain it, because the money that is meant for all of these things has been sent to their emails.
Wow, quite interesting. Well, our viewers, this is all we'll take on the dailies. Right about now, we'll take a short break. And when we return, it will be time for us to enlighten you on the vaccine. The Lagos State government, not just the Lagos State government, of course, government generally, but the Lagos State government is starting theirs, I think, September 25 to September 30. We will enlighten you about it. And we also bring health experts to help us look at this very vaccine and its safety for our girls. Join us again.
You not get matter this, you get like this, my country people waiting matter and make you reach where they go. My name now Mr. Peace. That MC with a biggie swag. Now top here you there and it happen inside Super Screen TV. My country people, water don't pass Gary. How you go take talk for English? Water, it don't pass Gary. You understand me now? How you go talk for English? Now the matter. Before we enter this matter, we come make we run go for sharp tiny break, make you not touch that and make your finger for now.
My name is Yvonne Jagada. You're watching Yan Your Own.
My name na Bimbo Thomas, aka Nikki Omogeto. Make una dey watch Yan Your Own
On top Super Screen TV.
Water don pass garri, talk am for English.
Come again. Water don't pass garri.
Okay, you are not hear me.
In English. The water is much than the water is much than the garri. The water is much than the cassava.
You say?
The water is much than the cassava.
Okay. Wetin make you switch to cassava?
When your responsibility is more than your income, water don't pass garri be that.
Okay. When the something passes something, water don pass garri be that.
Yes.
Who tell you that thing?
From experience.
Okay, you said don experience water don pass garri be.
Yes, you know life is all about up and down.
Okay.
So there are times it's up, there are times it's down. So life is a process.
Okay.
So if you not process, you end up in problems.
That one hard. Water is greater than garri. I don't try now.
You sure?
I try. Let me
Think am well. Water don pass garri.
Garri.
Na be say problem don pass human being. The problem wey dey for the country don pass government. Na wetin the thing mean? Water don pass garri. Problem don pass the human being. How you tell no? You know they say as everything everywhere be. Say you need to tell you everything every day na high, no dey come down.
Water don't pass garri. Okay. The water is more than the garri.
You sure? Oh, Stella, this is your answer. I don't trust them.
I know.
Try
Water is
another
more
one.
than the garri.
I don't trust the answer. Check another one. Check another one.
Okay, much excess water in the garri. Abi?
For English, water has passed garri. Or if you want put the meaning very well, you can say it's out of control.
Water has passed garri. Water has passed garri. Water is more plenty than garri. Water is much than garri.
They select and they go.
Water
is senior to garri.
yes.
You sure?
Yes.
You go tell am say there are shortfall in the income. That's the way we will do it now. Okay. That's the way we will say it.
That the situation of now is critical.
You sure?
Yes. But the look of things now is only God that we are relying on. That God should come and intervene in situation on ground now.
Water and garri, they are soaked together.
Water don't pass garri.
Water has passed garri. How do I put it better than that? That means garri is sweet inside water. Garri soaked inside water, be precise.
Every service for House of God get closing prayer, my country people. Una don hear from Nigerians. Some people say water has passed the garri. Some people say the garri has passed the water. Some people say the situation for ground pass the one wey dey us. Some people say na me say the matter don pass Nigeria. Anyhow wey you see am, na so we see am. My country people, make una no forget to follow me on top my social media handle at Mr. Peace Official. Now for this chon we go end the matter, make you not touch that, make your finger for now.
Have you heard? Momo is turning 12 people who refer the highest number of friends into millionaires in the Momo Refer and Win promo. There is also over 200 million naira up for grabs. How do you win? Dial star 671 # to open a Momo account if you don't have one. Then select option 6 to refer everyone you know. Yes, I said everyone, because everyone deserves to be a millionaire. Make sure the person you refer opens a Momo account and buys airtime or data of at least 100 naira. The more people you refer, the more cash prizes you win every week, and you increase your chance of becoming a millionaire in the Momo Refer and Win promo. Promo runs from 15th June to 9th August 2023. Momo, better than cash.
Being an influencer or a celebrity, everyone sees success. No one sees the daunting exercises and training you have to go through to keep fit. Most times, I need to block out the noise to focus.
Even when I'm stuck, I still make moves. This isn't just any earbud, it's complete ear control. Putting this in my ear is like putting a sound studio in my ear, moving and dancing to the rhythms of the music.
Every accomplishment starts with a decision to focus. I have learned to always take one step at a time. Music is a part of all I do. When I am in a certain energy or mood, I have to distract myself and recharge.
Welcome back. You're still watching U45 Morning Show. Well, right about now, like we told you earlier about the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's World Press Conference, of course, the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party. We would want for you to take a listen to what the former Vice President said at the World Press Conference yesterday.
This quest is not for or about Atiku Abubakar. It is a quest for the enthronement of truth, morality, justice, and accountability in our public affairs. I will only drop the fight when the court rules. If the court rules that I am right, fine. If the court rules that he is right. So that's the end of the fight. Because at the moment we are at the Supreme Court, and there is no any other court than the Supreme Court. Today, we are called upon to again, as a people, to uphold and defend the ground rules of elective government in our country. The Constitution prescribes the requirements for those who seek the highest elective office in the land. It should not take months or indeed decades for the institutions concerned to be able to do their work in establishing the credibility of any certificates presented by candidates for public office. We undertook this journey at great cost and for important reasons. The ground rules for legitimate governance in our country need to be upheld. This quest is not for or about Atiku Abubakar. It is a quest for the enthronement of truth, morality, justice, and accountability in our public affairs. Well, we are friends in the house.
Well, for the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar there, saying that he would not give up and calling on Nigerian leaders, called particularly on the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, and Kwankwanso, that they should join him in the fight. Of course, the Labour Party candidate, presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has already said that, the Labour Party basically said they won't join Atiku in the fight. And Atiku is saying that we need to save the nation Nigeria. We need to build our integrity.
Yes, I will not support you does not mean I am not going to fight. So basically what's happening is Labour parties, PDP were not supporting you in your fight. We are fighting our fight.
Of course.
Yes. You understand? But they are fighting, it's the same cause.
Yes.
So why not come together and fight this fight together? But like Konkoso said before, the NNPP and Labour Party, they were supposed to merge so there could be a stronger power force, but NNPP refused. So all man for himself.
And God for all of us.
For all of us.
What do you make out of this, Patience?
In a way, I think it's driving towards partisan politics. Because, when they join force together and the war is won, how do they divide the loot?
Interesting.
So PDP, fight your war.
Labour Party, I'll fight my war. But then it's also crucial for us to talk about the background of the Labour Party candidate. You remember that he crossed from the People's Democratic Party because he couldn't get his
presidential ticket.
Exactly. Yes. That the party now agreed that they're going to give it to the Vice President Atiku Abubakar, and that was why he went to the Labour Party. And he's going to the Labour Party has helped build the Labour Party such that now the Labour Party now is competing, favorably with the ruling party. So we just be making them now. They have suddenly become a force to reckon with.
Yes.
So, well, all I think is politicians is all about individuals' interest. I wouldn't want to call it selfish. So they're also talking about trending issues. Just yesterday, a particular young man, we saw him on the island precisely. He was trying to commit suicide. And Nigerians, as we are, Lagosians, so to say, we are very caring and loving. They ran and helped to rescue him. And you could see the guy also fighting people to allow him, die.
So I'm confused.
The question is, what can push a man to this state of wanting to commit a suicide? I know that, yes, the depression can be real, guys.
Depression is actually real. People are going through a lot, especially with this economic situation in the country. A lot of people don't have jobs. A lot of people can make ends meet, especially men. And a lot of men feel inadequate when they can't take care of their responsibilities, i.e. their families. And there was a case, someone was saying of his neighbor that went to buy provisions to take care of his wife on credit. And when he got there, they said, the woman told him she can't sell to him. And he went home and just started hitting his head. It's a life story. On the window glasses, and caught himself and died. just because he felt inadequate. But I don't think you should take your life. I mean, whoever is involved, no matter how depressed you are, seek for help. Whatever you're going through, talk to someone.
So that's where the problem lies.
Yes.
Seek for help.
Seek for help.
From
yes.
who? That's the issue.
Individuals like you.
Now, because the society mounts so much pressure on the male gender. This male force
God.
So
there we go again.
No, women are also going through a lot of pressure.
Oh my goodness. Have you not seen a family that all they have are females? Yes. And for the ladies, the pressure is even more. It's just that I think it's about management.
Okay, so let's put it this way. Now, as a lady, right? If you're taking care of the home, right? Footing the bills, doing all of those, they see you as this very supportive partner,
a virtuous woman.
Right? They see you as a very supportive partner, a strong woman, strong-willed person,
and a good wife material.
You get
to add.
So let's flip the coin to the other side. Now.
Okay.
When the guy does that, you hear. Yeah,
it's his responsibility.
Yes, of course.
So all of those mounds on him, like, okay, you have to do this, you have to do this, you can't complain, you can't cry, you are a man, you will have to take care of your home, your wife, your siblings, your parents, your children. All of those things put together. And then you now found yourself in a country where there is no job. If you don't go to school, there is no job for you.
There are no enough jobs. Let's keep it at that.
Federal government said there's no job for you.
Okay.
So, what are we saying?
Well, I think this is where we also have to give kudos to our religious leaders, religious organizations. They are really doing a lot. A lot of times, in fact, many Nigerians, so to say, would have just, would have committed suicide. Exactly. I mean, or are in a state of depression. If not because they go to churches, mosques, and what have you. I think they're doing a great job, and I think they should continue because we cannot afford to have crisis.
Aside from that, talking to people, whatever you're going through, look for a family friend, or a friend, or your pastor or your imam. Learn to open up, because a problem shared is a problem half solved.
Sometimes it's written.
It's
all right, guys.
It's better to go to your religious leader, because when you go to a friend, there's some friends that'll be like, is that what you're going through?
But Shegun, let me tell you, what about religious leaders that we have found out that they are also not truthful? You understand me? Many of them just come out and say that is what they do, but we all know that I have fake pastors out there. Well, viewers, we will take another short break for us to join our business analyst. Let's know what's happening in the world of business. It is important we all make money. So, join us again.
Who am I? I am progressive, inspired by cutting-edge technology. I am a game changer, foiled by challenges and the need to provide exceptional customer service. With me, payments can be done instrumentally. I offer best prices. I deliver very fast and I am always on time. I offer after-sales services. I am efficient and reliable. With me, you're guaranteed peace of mind. I am Pointec, and I am proud to be part of this amazing family. Now you can rest assured you can get all your mobile phones, electronics, gadgets, everything at affordable prices. So what are you waiting for? Join the Pointec side of life. Pointec, phones and more.
Welcome back, and now we're now being joined by Olusegun Okunade, our business analyst. Olusegun, good morning.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Many thanks for joining us on U45 Morning Show.
Thank you very much, and thank God it's Friday. To
Obviously.
all our viewers and my people in the studio.
Obviously, you're dressed for the day. It's like you're set to rock, isn't it?
It's a Friday. You don't allow the issues in the country to overwhelm you, so you have to relax yourself too.
That's on point, brother. So now, Olusegun Okunade, of course, we have to look at the state of the nation's economy. Can you help us to look at that? We saw a young man who wanted to commit suicide yesterday and was saved by Lagos residents.
Thank you very much. Truth be told, this is not the best time for us as a nation. And I have this to say that it's not peculiar to us as Nigerians. It's a global crisis that we are faced with. And even though we claim that government are doing their best, and we are not seeing so much of that impact, but I want to say that it's not something that is peculiar to the country. The global crisis since the advent of COVID-19 and also the crisis between Ukraine and Russia. And what most countries are doing currently is to look for a way to domesticate their issue and find solutions to it. And I think that is where we are still not getting it right. What do I mean by this? We are endowed and blessed with so many natural resources that we are yet to tap into and make benefit of them locally. What we count on is relying on the production by other countries to their advantage. And that is an area I feel government needs to create an enabling environment in such a way that businesses will grow. What are the things that an average businessman needs? One, energy. Are you able to guarantee 24 power supply in such a way that the cost of alternative power supply, which you and I know is very high, can be averted? Number two, how consistent are your policies in such a way that the business owner can guarantee that there is future and prospect for some of their investment? Even as we start for the foreign direct investment, how much confidence do they have in our policy? Another one speaks to security. I'm sure you heard that this morning the National Assembly, the Senate is calling for the security chiefs to come and answer questions. And some of us have said enough of summoning, but let's monitor some of the things that are brought to bear. By some of how do we monitor this thing? By timeline, in such a way that we'll be able to know that this is what you have actually promised to happen within the first 3 months. This is what we are getting. This is where you are. Because security is germane. So many people need to move from one state to the other, and they cannot even afford to fly. I'm sure you know what the aviation sector is saying. So these are some of the things we feel government need to critically look into, and we have provided those solutions. What will it cost us to have a refinery? If Dangote can do it within 6 years, is to tell you that with the wherewithal that the government have, this thing is achievable. But what we lack is the political will and the commitment on the part of the leader to make some of these things be. If we are able to have it, I can tell you and Solomon, Nigeria is the best place to be because God has endowed us with all that is needed. The internet.
Well, I think for Port Network, we lost Olusegun. However, he's been able to throw light on the need for government to, create a business-friendly environment by ensuring that there is at least 24 hours supply of electricity. And up until now, for decades, we've been talking about epileptic power supply. And one wonders when the Nigerian government will get it right in such a way that Nigeria as a country, we can also celebrate, say, 1 month of a stable power supply, guys.
You know, electricity used to be run by the government, but now they have privatized power supply in Nigeria. Now, what are the rules and guidelines they've given to this private sector to make sure that we have electricity 24 hours? This is our country, and they've been licensed to supply lights. There should be guidelines and regulations on these bodies that XYZ, if you're not doing your job, we can revoke your license or do XYZ, so that they can sit up and, you know, give us regular supply. That's my take.
I feel revoking will destroy a lot of things, in the sense that everything that has been left in the hands of the government has been taken over or run to the ground. For instance, we take NITEL. It's no longer functioning. We take NEPA. They have to give that out. So the problem is, I think the federal government should look inward first. Now, satisfy your people. Why give power to neighboring country when you've not fully saturated the states in the country? So I feel if everybody know what they are doing, and then the number one citizen of the country puts its feet down, like, you must do this, we're not giving our power supply to any neighboring country. Exactly. Let us have enough for us first, because I mean, you must feed well before you feed someone else.
Yes.
No doubt. So, well, I think the epileptic power supply in the country, if we continue to talk about it, we're not going to leave the studio. This is a clarion call on government. I'm trying to remember the name now, Eco Electricity.
Yes.
The PHN. Please give us stable power supply, and I hope that this government will monitor them to ensure that we have 24-hour power supply. Well, right about now, we told you earlier that we will be enlightening you about a particular vaccination the Lagos State government is set to begin precisely September 25. And this very vaccine is to be given to girl child. They said it will be given in schools and what have you. I want us to quickly take a listen. Okay, let me tell you, we have our guests joining us this morning, Dr. Anthony Osahele. Good morning, Dr. Anthony Osahele. Good morning, Doc. Many thanks for joining us on U45 Morning Show. I can't really hear you well. Can you hear me well? Okay, while we'll try to ensure that we get his audio well, let me quickly enlighten you about this particular vaccine. Now, it is called HPV vaccination. Human papillomavirus HPV vaccines, they say, are vaccines that prevent infection by certain types of human papillomavirus HPV, and the available vaccines protect against either 2, 4, or 9 types of HPV. And the Lagos State government says that they will begin to give a girl child. There are so many questions to be raised. It's about preventing the females from cervical cancer. And this many questions we will pose to our health expert if you're able to get his audio right. However, let us listen to the experts who spoke about this very vaccine and where it will be administered. Some school of thoughts believe the major challenges confronting Nigeria as a nation is caused by poor leadership. How true is this? You and I can actually put government into tools to deliver the dividends of democracy. Join us every Saturday by 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Let us look at the issues confronting us as a nation. Together we talk heads. Nigeria can be great again. I'm Adenike Oweye Ajiboye. Keep it date.
What up, guys? How's your day going? How are you doing this? I want to believe that you're having fun, right? This bright and sunny day. You know that once you see this duo on your TV screen, we're here to serve you some entertainment.
And of course, entertaining gist coupled with good music won't hurt anybody, right? So here on Super Lunch, we get to entertain you, educate you on recent happenings in the world of entertainment. I am your girl, Eva Grace.
And I am Shegun Delala Adeyemi, the Duke of your airwaves. You know how it is. We serve you good entertainment Mondays all through to Fridays. And that's how we do. We'll take you on a smooth ride of entertainment. So don't go nowhere. Join us every Mondays to Fridays. We love you guys.
My name is Dr. Abimbola Mabogunje. I'm the Permanent Secretary of Health District 6. This is an announcement about the upcoming human papilloma virus vaccination, which comes up on the 25th of September till the 30th of September. It is for all girls aged between 9 years and 14 years old. Please let your girls come out and be vaccinated. You can go to they're coming to all schools. They're going to be in all primary healthcare centers. We're going to be going around and seeing children wherever we can and in religious centers. It is safe, it is protective against cervical cancer, and it is free of charge. It is supported by the Lagos State government and most especially the First Lady of Lagos State, Dr. Ebijoke Sanwo-Olu. Please bring your girls out to be vaccinated. It is for their benefit. Let us keep our girls safe in Lagos State. My name is Dr. Abimbola Mabogunje. I'm the Permanent Secretary of Health District 6. This is an announcement about the upcoming human papilloma virus vaccination, which comes up on the 25th of September till the 30th of September. It is for all girls aged between 9 years and 14 years old. Please let your girls come out and be vaccinated. You can go to they're coming to all schools. They're going to be in all primary healthcare centers. We're going to be going around and seeing children wherever we can and in religious centers. It is safe, it is protective against cervical cancer, and it is free of charge. It is supported by the Lagos State government and most especially the First Lady of Lagos State, Dr. Ebijoke Sanwo-Olu. Please bring your girls out to be vaccinated. It is for their benefit. Let us keep our girls safe in Lagos State.
It's Humor Hangout with Kofi the Guru, your host with the most.
Ricky is a virgin.
Why are you bro?
I like food and I eat a lot, and you don't really see my body.
Where's the eat a lot?
You don't see my body. That's a special thing.
What's the female for Philip?
Philip. It can't be Philippines. It can't be Filipina.
Philomena. Paul.
Paula.
Tunde.
Tunde no.
Like I tell people, it's for you to be great in whatever you do. You have to stay humble and believe that you are a learner.
Have you ever been asked to play a romantic role?
Of course, I've played romantic roles.
Hi, my name is Iyabo Ojo, and you're watching Humor Hangout with Kofi the Guru.
Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
We need to remove him, otherwise we are going to be in trouble. You must kill him today, not tomorrow. Today!
There's a handsome prize on your head. And if you can top it, you walk free.
She's even awake. She's awake?
Will you stop that? And don't you dare repeat that again.
What is she doing? I don't know.
My son is nowhere to be found and you asked me to relax. I can't.
So we're not going to eat?
You have to eat.
Look at you. So you actually want to eat that food? The way this food is smelling, I think it's really going to be delicious.
Oh my son! Oh my son!
What are you doing here?
I will not let you send her out.
She's your rival, you know.
I know she's your wife, and I know it's not right for you to treat her like that.
You heard me. Send yourself out before I come back to this house.
High Chief Major General James. Good evening.
What is good about this evening? Huh?
What happened now?
Don't mind them. You're not going anywhere. You stay.
Please. Please. What are you doing out of bed? I needed a drink. You could have called me.
I'm not the father of a thief. And that is what your son is. A thief. Stole the document to my house and sold it. And I swear, he's going to rot in jail.
It's okay, baby.
It's not okay.
Hello? Hello?
Family ties, a thorn in the flesh.
The second half. Revolution! Moses. The long lineal line.
Well, it's so glad to have you back. Yes, you saw Dr. Abimbola Mabogunje, the Permanent Secretary of Health Districts, of course, in Lagos State, talking about the vaccination, which she called papilloma virus vaccination, which will be given to our girls from the ages of 9 to 14. And they're starting these by September 25. We need to know because, guys, where we are now, the question is, of course, this vaccination is to prevent the girl child from, according to the doctor, is to prevent them from cervical cancer. The question I ask is this, and this is going to be free. We are aware, for me, anything free, I don't even embrace it to start with. And another question is, when we look deeply, we are aware of the population reduction agenda of the foreign
Western world.
Western world for African countries. And we all know about the visit of the richest man, of course, in Nigeria, in the world. He came visiting, and from feelers reaching me, I think this is part of what was discussed. Now, this vaccination is not just going to happen in Lagos, it's happening in other states. The question is, do we have prevalence of cervical cancer in Nigeria? Another question is, why is it particularly about the girls?
Child, and within an age range
of 9 to 14.
Well, if you ask
I
them,
don't know
they will
if
say,
we're thinking alike.
if you ask them, they might say it's better to get them early. Now, the question I want to ask, how safe is the vaccine they're bringing? Remember, if you recall, the COVID-19 vaccine, it came at some point, and then later they said that first batch was not well preserved, so they had to bring in another one. Do we have a facility to keep these things, to store? A good storage facility when it comes, right? 1. 2, now, this same vaccine in Japan, I think 2013, it was stopped after nine months. Yeah, it was stopped. The Japanese government stopped them from administering it to children, to the girls. Why did they stop? Because some people were complaining about several body pains, severe body pains, and all of this one. So there's a reason why they stopped. And now you're bringing this to the country. Our laboratory experts, have they done a thorough check of this vaccine before welcoming the idea? Because for me, I don't really buy into the idea.
Okay, let me tell you some of the risks of the HPV vaccine. Like it said, the most common side effects, they say mild fever, tenderness, swelling, and redness. Swelling, redness at the injection sites, dizziness, fainting, nausea, and vomiting. They say all of these can follow a short allergic reactions to the vaccines. And one begins to wonder, if you have these kind of symptoms, side effects in administering such vaccination or giving such a vaccination, you begin to wonder why we want to put our girls in this state.
A risk. One thing is, I'm not aware of any epidemic at the moment. These girls are not, there's no epidemic in the country, no record of any epidemic in the country that warrants these girls to take these injections. So I feel with all the symptoms, I mean, they are putting these girls' lives at risk. They are putting their lives at risk. These girls are healthy at the moment. They don't have any symptoms. They don't have any allergies. They don't have any sickness. And then you are bringing a foreign body into the system to cause harm to the system. I want to ask, what is the motive behind giving them this injection?
Exactly my question. What's the rationale? What's the motive? Because we also remember during COVID too, till today, some people do not believe that there is COVID in Nigeria. Yes. And it's just some people. And I remember even Pastor Chris Oyakilome of Believers Love World Incorporated, that's also known as Christ Embassy, came out to say that Nigerians should not take the vaccine, the COVID vaccine. Yes. And we have a lot of people coming with one or two, reactions that they faced after taking that very vaccine. Now you're bringing another one. We are still talking about the fact that many don't believe that COVID exists in Nigeria. And we're also now going to put the life of our girls at risk. I think this calls for concern. I don't know if we have good network now. Our health experts will join us to talk on this issue. What do you make out of
what really beats me is this injection is targeted at the reproductive system. Now we know of this agenda of reducing the black race. And these girls are our future. They're the mothers of tomorrow. They're the ones that are going to use the cervix to carry children. And now, from this young age, they're beginning to inject them with drugs that will give them so much problems that might even affect their reproductive system. That's the way I say it. So I don't think this is safe. It doesn't look nice to me because it's going to affect our population. Take it.
Obviously, no doubt it's really going to affect, and we only hope that nothing bad eventually even happens to these girls. And this is also a time for us to also call on the Lagos State government would need to answer to some of our questions, because it is very critical that we protect our girls. I mean, it's not everything being brought from the Western world that we just embrace. So what's the reason? Is it about selfish interests of the politicians that they just embrace all of this? And an information I also get is that Bill Gates has promised, how true that is what I'm yet to confirm. But from a very reliable source, I heard, it was like a closed-door meeting between the president, Bill Gates, and I'm trying to remember the other person who was there, that it was agreed that some of the debts of Nigeria would be paid by Bill Gates. So could this be the reason for which whatever he wants, we have to fulfill their agenda?
So my question is, so the price of this HPV vaccine, I think the list is 14,000 naira if you're to pay for it. The list is 14,000 naira. So we have some of like 210,000 naira, meaning it is quite expensive. And you're dishing out that free of charge. And then Lagos State government is telling the pupils at secondary school, primary school, you cannot be admitted, you cannot come in if you don't come with tax clearance.
Yes.
Your tax certificate. Meaning, if you don't have it, you have to pay 8,500 naira. So why buy this thing at 14? Okay, let's say 14,000 naira for a dose. Why do that? Why not use that same resources to allow these kids to go to
school to improve the educational sector?
This calls for concern. Unfortunately, our health expert, Dr. Anthony Osahele, is unable to join due to poor network. Well, guys, this is where we'll leave it until we're able to get the Lagos State government to shed light, on this very vaccine and the reason, the true reason behind giving it to just the girls, because I found out that the vaccine can also be given to boys. Why the females? And when you also look at the all of what we're saying now, transgender, gay, bisexual, and what have you, already the population of girls is not in tandem with the males.
I was going to come to that. When there are no females, or the numbers of females are reduced drastically, let's say 10 boys to 1 girl. So one boy takes a girl, the other 9 are left without girls.
He needs to encourage polygamy.
What happens? So yes, we would like them to come and give us reasons. Now the question is, do they know the true reason, the real reason? It is what they have been told.
Why they are giving them for free.
For free.
Yes.
And then, is it mandatory for these girls to take it?
Thank you. Is it mandatory? If it's not mandatory, please leave us alone.
No, the thing we have a freedom of choice. I believe we all have freedom of choice. And some religions don't take blood infusion, no matter what you do to them.
So it can't be.
So it can't be, make it mandatory. You have your choice. It is your choice.
It will be tied to something, because with COVID vaccine, you can't travel out if you don't take it.
No, but I think that should not be. That shouldn't be at all.
Because there's no epidemic in town right now.
So why would you come and tell us it's compulsory?
It can't be.
It's not supposed to be. And I think that's the reason for which that Dr. Abimbola Mabogunje is appealing. She was just appealing that people should let their girls come out and be vaccinated. So it is now the question of you in person, as a mother, as a father, do you want to give your daughter in? That's the question for you to answer.
The government will always appeal. For COVID-19, they were appealing. They appealed to you. Please wash your hands.
True.
And at the point,
take
the tie.
They will definitely appeal to you.
At first.
But when you now need to do something, they will ask you, did you get vaccinated?
Where's the certificate for this?
Where is this?
Where's
You don't
this?
have it. We are sorry, we cannot attend to you. Go bring this, then we attend to you.
Well, that would be quite unfortunate, but I think we have to continue to advocate. Until we get the Lagos State government to react, we'll know where we are going to. You're still watching U45 Morning Show, where we'll take a short break here, and when we return, we'll bring the sports team to tell us what is happening in the world of sports. Don't go away.
You cannot run away from the shadow. Yes. Oh, yeah. Stop there. Huh? Let me take you. Huh? Like I told you, I am your shadow. Pay me my money. Sorry, landlord, I'll pay you your money. Find a woman for me. Find a woman.
Are you not tired of being a tenant? At Revolution Plus Property, we offer affordable housing in our 43 estates across Nigeria. Contact us now on visit www.revolutionplusproperty.com.
Revolution Plus Property. Affordable housing.
Close to a decade, Revolution Plus Property has remained number one. Number one in affordable housing. Number one in making thousands of Nigerian landlords. Over 9,500 Nigerians already made landlords. We are number one in putting smiles all over the faces of thousands and millions all over the world. Proudly bridging the gap, the housing deficit in Nigeria. Our core values remains innovation, integrity, trust, and timely delivery. Our dedicated and hardworking staff members are committed to this vision and values. We pride ourselves as the provider of affordable housing. Over 43 estates, mega estates already delivered all over Nigeria. Over 6 branches in Lagos, Ikeja, in Lekki, Lagos, in Abeokuta, in Ibadan, in Port Harcourt, in Abuja, also an international office in Dallas, Texas. Revolution Plus is the major contributor to the GDP of Nigerian economy, especially in the real estate sector. I've employed over thousands of people working directly or indirectly for the company. Despite all, we remain committed. Despite all, we are not giving up. Despite all, we stand tall. Bamdele Nlaja is my name, the GMD and CEO of Revolution Plus Property. Thank you. God bless you.
Revolution Plus Property. Affordable housing.
The second half. Revolution! Moses. The long lineal line.
at its
Welcome back. You're still watching U45 Morning Show. We need to know what is happening, what is latest in the world of sports. And just yesterday, it was announced that Nottingham Forest defender Olaino has been ruled out of the Super Eagles friendlies. Let's join Sporting Joel and Prince Will to tell us the latest.
Good morning. My name is Joel
Morning,
Wan.
guys.
Welcome to Sport.
You're really looking Friday.
Yes, I mean, it's a Friday, it's a weekend Friday, and it's imperative we give our viewers something to cheer for.
Right,
and the sports train this morning on UHL 45. We started with a story coming up from Ekiti. The governor said head will roll, as regard the last NYG, the National Youth Games, because athletes, they got poor treatment, poor kitting, and the message is saying that heads will roll. That means the money we're giving out and it wasn't properly spent.
I think that's not a new story. It's not a new result.
But in our own scenario, a lot of people take so many things for granted. In sports, packaging is very important. The way you kit your athletes also speak a lot. It brings about the determination, the commitment, and the motivation the athletes will come to display. Even if it doesn't mean you pick up the laurels, but that first confidence is key, and your outlook also says a lot. So if the state government had given so much money and you bring these kids in tattered, it's just very unfortunate.
Yeah. But don't you think they're also trying to follow the politicians' way, but the politicians sometimes they are not always truthful too. So they also think that they can cut corners with the money that is being given to them.
I've always talked about zero tolerance when it comes to giving up money and not being used for what it's supposed to. Like he said, like what Prince said, when you have when they're packaged properly, it affects their morale positively. And looking at these kids from what you're seeing on the screen, they're not looking even well fed.
Let me come in here. Delta State, the host, for every competition they've gone to, everybody sees them as one outlet of example. Their tracksuits, the rainbow color, their canvas. In fact, there was this championship I attended in Abeokuta some couple of weeks back. The guys that won that championship, their appearance alone was a victory for them. The canvas, the t-shirts, the tracksuit, the way they came out demoralized the opponents. At that alone, you're like, something good is coming out from this particular group. So if the Ekiti State government is saying what was given out, there's no commensurate value, I think anybody who's responsible, starting from the commissioner of sports, should be held responsible.
Honestly, because even if you look at the national team too, it speaks volume, the kind of results we always bring home. I've had to speak with some team members who said that they are supposed to put them in 7 stars hotel, and they just put them in one kind of a shabby looking hotel, and this is a challenge for them. I've even seen some of them, they will be unable to even eat at that hotel, and I think this is bad. It's a clarion call also on the sporting leaders to ensure monitoring. You need to monitor and ensure that the purpose for which money is being given or earmarked is used for the purpose.
And still on the Ekiti issue, funny enough, they ended 14 on the log. They just recently concluded game. 14, for you, it's not good enough.
Funny enough, I've been to Ekiti State several times. The rate of competitiveness sports-wise is very low. A lot of them struggle to even make up the need to go to the stadium. They just have one in Ado there to compete. And, the drive to want to be sports inclined is not there. The facilities are not there. There are no programs to actually encourage these young ones. If you talk about education, building up professors, okay, yes, you could give it to them. But in sports dimension, Ekiti State is still far, far behind. It's just something which I think the state government should work on.
Now, the governor said head roll. What does it mean? Is it going to cut heads or what?
Of course, it's going to sack a lot of people. That's the meaning.
Apart
The
from
job will
sacking,
end. Okay.
there need to be a complete rejuvenation of Ekiti sports development. There need to be a policy statement. If you look at Ekiti, Ondo, Osun, and you compare them to Lagos State, Lagos State just came out from that particular realm of not doing too well. But if you look at the western region itself, Osun, Ekiti, Ondo, they're nowhere to write home about.
It's quite sad when you find out someone has been earmarked for a certain purpose, and at the end of the day, it's misused and nobody's saying anything. So probably we just follow the story and find out.
That's Lagos State for you.
Exactly.
See how beautiful they look.
Properly kitted they are.
If you get the one of Delta State, either you go to the north, the first thing you see with an athlete is that appearance. It gives you that motivation.
Exactly what I was about to say. It's a motivation for you to do well. Like they say, to whom much is given, much is expected. You can't give these players something that is not good and you expect them to perform well. It's just going to dampen the spirits.
Exactly. Away from that, it's good to know that Saudi Arabia, they have, apart from having one of the best football leagues as we speak, like the Duke would say, SPL, and right now, I mean, they have a running table tennis league. And recently they had a contract with Aruna Quadri. He just won a tournament in Tunisia, and as we speak, he's currently #1 in Africa. He's just been snapped up by a club called Al Khaji in Saudi Arabia. I mean, he's going to play straight out there for table tennis.
Aruna Quadri,
a big money move, I must say.
Yes, a big money move. Aruna Quadri is becoming what Richard Obokiri did, sojourning from one continent to the other. He's a great ambassador. He has seen it all, and I think going to Saudi Arabia is like saying, I'm retiring with the big money.
Yeah. That's
but of course, there will always be a day that you will say bye to whatever profession that you are engaged in. I mean, maybe because of age and you have put enough, you feel it's time for you to rest. Even the children.
No, in the case of table tennis, it's rare.
Play up to like 60.
It's rare. You see most of them round up in Germany or in Sweden, because those are strong points for table tennis. But coming down to Saudi Arabia, it's all about the dough. Let's not kid ourselves.
But money makes the world go round. So what are we talking about?
But for me, the problem is, do we have a lot of Aruna Quadris on the streets? We don't. That means we don't have enough programs to scout, younger table tennis players, so we can put them in the limelight. Like Aruna Quadri just, what he did right now in Saudi Arabia.
The question is, do Nigerians, do they still play table tennis?
Sure they do.
Yes, they do.
I think they just play it for fun. That's what I see.
I don't want to believe that. They do. They do.
They have the problem is very fundamental, if you ask me. The schools themselves don't have playgrounds. That's one. And if you don't have playgrounds, how do you create an ambience for table tennis?
Practice?
Exactly. So it still boils down to the federation. What are your programs? Even if they have the programs,
encourage
are they being implemented sequentially? And what group of people are you looking at? Not just stop them from having carnivals where you have table tennis around the streets of Lagos and you go to scout for young ones who could play this game. Because the likes of Haruna Quadri, Funke, Shonaike, they are all aged. And when they go off the scene, it's going to be difficult to have a replacement for them.
It's definitely taking a long time to groom a professional player.
So what happened to lawn tennis? The likes of Nduka Odizo and Sadiq, they all went off the scene. Today, we don't have a stable lawn tennis player who could say, I am at the peak. It's impossible.
So the call is just for the leaders to ensure they look into this in such a way that we have successor in this particular.
Are the federations ready? That's the big question.
That's a big question. Now that'll drive into another question. Now,
Readiness.
What it means is, now the heads of the federation, are they really, do they have experience? What are the antecedents in that particular sport? I mean, because it's a case of putting a round peg in a square hole.
I quite agree with you. Let's take a good example of our sports minister, Senator John Enoch.
A farmer.
He said he doesn't have the experience.
Farmer.
Yes, he said he doesn't have the experience, but he's willing to learn. He came out to say he's willing to learn. Now, if you look at most of the sports federation heads, they are not ready to give whatever they've met on the table. They just come in there to take the accolades of being, I'm a chairman of tennis federation, I'm a chairman of basketball federation.
Get visas and travel abroad.
The gallivants, take the grant that comes in, use it for personal globetrotting. There are programs. Are you putting those programs in place? Are you asking for technocrats who will guide you to initiate those programs into the areas you've chosen? No, they don't do that.
So are you saying that the farmer that is the sports minister is deserving?
No, he's not deserving. But he came out to tell the world that I don't know anything, but I want to learn. And I want to take Nigerian sport to the next level. He's open. For some people, they will conceal and hold it back. Whatever you say doesn't make any meaning. You see, when somebody is ready to learn and he tells you I want to learn, you'll be willing to give him your very best.
Exactly.
But how will he be able to know the genuine advice? Because at the end of the day, it's all going to be about politicking. Because they will come and everybody comes to you and act like they have your interests at heart, but it is their own personal interests.
Okay, the problem is continuation. There are programs on ground. If you understudy those programs,
there are policies on ground.
Exactly. If you study those policies and programs as a human being who love victory, successes, you will know which to follow and who to call for advice, and you move on.
Well, it depends on the age anyway, because a such position means that you have to read a lot. And what's the age of the minister we're talking about? Sorry for another day. Okay, right on.
So we're still on. We're talking about NWFL, the Nigerian Women's Female League, just got a kickoff date, October 15. They had a meeting yesterday, and the date was, a certain start.
Yes, it was a full house. The club representatives were there in Abuja, and the beauty part of it is that the current chairperson of the NWF, who took over from Aisha Falode, is a dynamic, dogged, committed woman who believes in women football. But she said some few things that were quite innovative. The league has been expanded from 14 to 16.
Beautiful.
And they've also ensured that the lower league now have state division. It used to be a central stuff. But what she really hammered on was branding. And she says they want to go into sustainability, where the NWFL could sustain itself without depending on the fund that comes from the NFF. But what she said that really got me key into her program is that they would ensure that female football grow from leap to leap and also seek for sponsors.
Beautiful.
We know football is big money.
Yeah.
If you don't actually approach those who have the best interest in it, you can't go anywhere. So she's actually calling everybody, especially the clubs, to show that particular interest of giving 100%, especially when it comes to players' welfare. It was quite a memorable meeting. The AGA was a full house. Right now, as I speak with you, she's in Port Harcourt. We might most likely have her on our show this afternoon. But that as it may, the November 15th date is invisible. The NPFL has not kicked off.
It's a tentative date.
Yeah. So we don't really know if it will come to life or not.
Anyway,
well, I think really, Prince Ru, you speak so much. You speak with so much confidence about her. But the truth of the matter is, we all know what happens.
No.
Talk is cheap.
Yes, no, it's not right now.
Until you're able to bring her here and quiz her, let's know her action plan. Let's know how she hopes to achieve all of these ideas that she's set to us. Because in the streets, as you just telling people that this is what you're gonna do. You will do this, you do that. But implementation.
Pedigree is quite important in this particular sector of sports. What you've been able to do over time speak for itself. Nkechi Obi is a brand name, and when you talk about brand name, a lot of the industries that have romanced sports, women football, she is a name to bear with. And NFF knew what they were doing. They wanted somebody who could move women football to the next level. Aisha Falode did quite a lot, but at times you have your limitations. And when you find out that there's somebody,
that is where I'm going to.
Yes,
you have your limitations. She would also have constraints,
but
she would have limitations.
Yes.
But how is she prepared to rise above all of these limitations?
She's taking.
You know what, Prince Ru,
She's taking off from
I
where
don't want to
Aisha
be pessimistic.
No.
I'm very optimistic.
Yes.
She would deliver.
I believe what she has done with the AGA is to bring everybody on deck. For her, for the number of years she did work as an independent brand promoter and consultant to the NFF, she has a very strong pedigree in branding and sponsorship. And that is what NFF is looking out for, because the era of going cap in hand to look for money is gone. So she's saying the Women League need to sustain itself and you need to create a project, a program that will attract people to see what
the plans that they have.
Yeah.
Well, let's just hope that she brings her ways of experience to play.
Now, what is that line between the male football and the female? Because there's so much spotlight on the part of the male, and we don't see that happen in female football. Could it be the money and all that?
No, it's the dynamics. It's the dynamics. You see, all over the world, you saw what happened to the American footballers. They actually agitated for equal pay
and actually
between the male. They got it because they won the World Cup, so it was quite obvious. Yes, and in our own case here, there's this level of doubt when it comes to women football, and unfortunately, it is the women footballers that has given us joy, that has put smiles
On
in the
our
face of Nigeria.
faces.
Yeah. So it is deserving to note that where she's coming from is give back to what has given you value.
Exactly.
Women football. So you cannot compare the input, the support, the male football had gotten to the women football. But she's trying to say, let's take a different dimension. Let's take a new route and see how we can attract more people. But that doesn't mean there will be equality now.
Well, there should be equality.
No, it's not possible.
In terms of
It's
finance.
not possible in the African context.
For the males,
In terms of remuneration, right?
was their money determined by their performance?
No.
So the answer is no.
Let me give you a clear-cut scenario. If you put a game
Right
at King George Stadium there, at Oniko, and you open the gate free, women football, if you get up to 10,000, which means you have to go and put some people. But if you put a male game out there at Oniko, you almost get a full house. It is a tradition, which you can cut out.
Okay, but you will also encourage the ladies too, and make it exciting for them. Then it means that a lot of females too will rush to that stadium.
Yeah, I like
they are
women
playing,
football
because we love to support them.
Joel knows I like women football.
Exactly.
And
lawn tennis.
But I mean,
And he loves lawn tennis. Serena Open.
No, we ain't talking about that right now. All right.
you need to talk to me after the program.
Okay.
Let me know the reason behind this.
Very simple. Women have this self-commitment and dedication when on the pitch. You see them giving their 110%. When the coach instructs them, they follow that route or the latter. I had some young girls who came in here who won a championship in Nigeria. First time out, they got a check of 500,000. Yep. And as I speak with you today, they're traveling to Ghana next week for another championship. The male counterpart, once they make a headway, they get head swollen. They want to move to a different direction. It's not the same thing with the female footballers. So for me, I see the female footballer as somebody you can groom and get results from.
But to aid competition too, to also, to spur the male teams to perform well beyond what we're saying, because we can see that the female players are doing very well. I think we need to bring that money close, such that the males too will now begin to pull their weight.
Those who bring the money in tells you what they want.
Exactly.
Male football is still in.
Anyway, still on football. It's good to know the NPFL's second round of league will be on tomorrow, and there are fixtures in various zones. Bella Insurance will be at home to Shooting Stars, and Remo Stars will fall out against your team, the Flying Antelope Enugu Rangers. We'll say battle of both coaches, two best coaches in the league. And also somewhere in the EPL, Burnley will be at home to Chelsea, and also Brighton, not performing very well, they'll be at home to Liverpool. I don't know what happened in that game, only time will tell.
I want to stick with the home games. Bella Insurance, True SC is a game burner any day, anytime. Anybody who wants to put his money should be on that particular game. It's quite unfortunate they've not started streaming the games. It would have been a game people want to watch. But that is where my money will go to.
And Remo Stars and Enugu Rangers?
It's a victory for Enugu Rangers any day.
Anyway, that's it for sport. Join us later today, 3 p.m. for Pidgin version of Sport Hub. Stay tuned.
All right, viewers, this is where we will draw the curtain on U45 Morning Show. I hope that we've been able to put you abreast of what is happening in the world of sports with Sporty, Joel Wakigo and Princeville. You guys are really looking Friday-ish and you're looking so good.
Yeah, we're ready.
I hope there's a party that we will be going
you give
after
us the
this
IV.
program.
Let's share the location, that's all.
But of course, we work around the clock. All right, we hope that we have been able to help you start your day well. Hopefully, join us again, same time, Monday, and have a pleasant weekend. I am Adinke Weye Ajiboye.
And my name is Joel Wakego.
And from all of us, it's a bye for now.